What's up? I'm Gabe Pluguez. I'm the founder of Default Kings. We're a Christian company that's helped over 502 guys lose weight permanently. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to lose 10 to 30 pounds using our default actions framework, which teaches you the biblical process to change your unhealthy default actions so that you can lose weight permanently while building lean muscle without having to give up your favorite foods or spend hours per day in the gym. And I'm going to show you how you can lose those 10 to 30 pounds in the next 12 weeks without cutting carbs or doing an unsustainable fad diet or doing some crazy workouts that just get you injured and take up a bunch of time that you could be investing into your business or into your family. So if at any point throughout the video you feel like you might want direct help with getting results like these, then scroll down and book your free fat loss assessment.
I think the first call I had with you, I think you told me I would, at the end of this, I'd weigh like 218 pounds, if I remember, somewhere right in there. And in my mind, I could not even conceive dropping that much weight in 12 weeks. Like, it just wasn't there. And I think I ended up at 208.
But just cracked over 70 this week. So like 72, 73 pounds as of right now.
Dude, that's
where you'll chat with me or another permanent fat loss expert on my team, and you'll do a deep dive on how to overcome the obstacles that are in between where you're at right now, body fat and health wise, and how to get to a point where you're 10 to 30 pounds leaner, healthier, and you know how to actually sustain that for good. This free fat loss assessment, you're going to be able to pinpoint the biggest obstacle that's keeping you in this cycle of unhealthy default action. Whether the problem is your consistency or your accountability or not really knowing what to do, or if the problem is just not really having the time to make it happen, or any other mental block or life circumstance that's keeping you on this cycle of losing the weight and gaining it back and losing the weight and gaining it back, or not losing the weight at all. Booking this free fat loss assessment will help you lose 10 to 30 pounds in the next 12 weeks and keep it off permanently so that you can look good, so that you can feel good, so that you can honor the temple of God and become the man that you know God is calling you to be. Now, before we continue, in case you haven't figured this out yet, we work with Christian entrepreneurs and other professionals, and all the men that are part of Default Kings value faith, value freedom, and value family. So if you support socialism, wokeism, or any left-leaning organization or ideology, then please leave this website right now, because at some point I will offend you. Default Kings is a circle of men who wants to honor God in every single thing that we do, from our businesses to our families and our relationships, and that includes our health and our fitness. Default Kings is made up of guys like Gavin, who lost 32 pounds. Guys like Drew, who lost 119 pounds. Guys like Alex, who lost 50 plus pounds. Guys like Charles, who lost 26 pounds. Guys like Cole, who lost 31 pounds. Guys like Ryan, who lost 40 pounds and messaged me a year later telling me he kept it off for good. Guys like Jack, who lost 84 pounds. Guys like Jacob, who lost 67 pounds. Guys like Henry, who lost 188 pounds. Guys like Dan, who lost 26 pounds. Guys like Nathaniel, who lost 35 pounds. Guys like Mario, who lost 44 pounds. And guys like Jeff, who lost 29 pounds. So if results like these aren't for you, please leave this page. Now, after me and my best friend and business partner, Joey, watched our own fathers struggle through the battle of permanent fat loss and then have that mindset shift that led to them getting the healthiest they had ever become, we dedicated our lives to building the default actions framework. And now over 502 men have used the default actions framework to lose body fat and keep it off for good.
The physical improvements that I've had through this program, losing 20, 25 pounds, looking in the mirror and being, so proud of what I've been able to do, and also knowing that that's just, I'm still, just continuing on that. It's nothing that I want to stop with. Having the abs show up, having the compliments come in randomly, seeing people like, doing a double take, those things are just like, they just do this like exponential kind of like feel good factor.
Do I have your attention? Good. Now, the one thing that each of these men had in common is that they actually took ownership for their unhealthy default action. And the three biggest obstacles that these Christian entrepreneurs were facing were: number one, lacking consistency with their workouts and nutrition. Number two, not having a game plan that was effective or even fit around their business and work schedule or their family priorities. And number three, they didn't have accountability from other like-minded men with similar values. I'm willing to bet that you, as you're watching this video right now, up to this point, you've probably already tried fad diets like keto, or you've done things like P90X or CrossFit. You might have even invested in a home gym, but now the dumbbells are just collecting dust in the garage. You might have even gone as far as to hire a personal trainer, but somehow that's not keeping you accountable at home. And you still find yourself falling off the wagon, being inconsistent, overindulging on the weekends, binge eating, mindlessly snacking, and getting to a place where you just mentally can't figure out why you haven't been able to be consistent. And you're not completely oblivious to the fact that all of your overeating and your lack of consistent exercise is what's making you overweight. You're aware of that. I don't have to tell you that going all out on the chips and salsa at the Mexican restaurant is why your gut is falling all out over your belt line. You know that. You already know that, but you find yourself doing it anyway. I'm willing to bet that the conversation that's going on in your own head when you're eating those things is probably pretty similar to what was going on in my dad's head when he would eat the unhealthy foods. I'm willing to bet that when you have your hand in that bag of chips, you're looking at thinking, this is why I'm overweight. This is why my health is on a downward trend. This is why I lack confidence. Yet you see your hand reach into the bag of chips, pull out a handful and start munching it down anyway. And you're not thinking like, oh yes, I'd love to be overweight. I love eating unhealthy. I love sabotaging the body that God loaned me. You're thinking, why do I do this? How can I stop? As you munch and crunch and chew on that food that's leading to you be overweight. That's leading to you becoming overweight. That's making you stay overweight. Right now, the biggest problem is that you're struggling to be consistent with your exercise and eating habits. You're also constantly losing motivation and falling off the wagon. And you feel clueless as to how to build a sustainable routine that actually works so you can see your body changing day to day when you look in the mirror, but that doesn't force you to give up your favorite foods or take away from your business or family.
To be honest, I was guessing my weight at the beginning because I never weighed myself. Yeah. I think I was around 211, although I probably I may have been a little bit more, but I think 211 is probably a decent guess.
Yeah.
Right now I'm at 191. That was yesterday. I weighed in at 191. So I mean, that's the weight stuff. That's the progress of the weight stuff.
Yeah.
My relationship, we sit here and talk about the psychology of it all and looking at everything. And I think that you want to talk about, I'm still gaining strength. I'm 41 years old, man. I'm over the hill. I'm supposed to be on the decline, and I'm making gains every time I walk into the gym. Why?
The cycle that you're in makes it impossible to lose fat and keep it off. And I know, my man, at this point, I'm probably tugging on some heartstrings. I'm probably forcing you to take a look in the mirror, metaphorically and literally. And I get it, this is not the easiest conversation to have, but it's my belief that people who want to help are not afraid to say what hurts. So right now you have a decision to make. Option one is to just turn off and exit out this video, because I'm asking you to take ownership, and that requires you to let go of one of the most difficult sins that Christian men face, which is their pride. It requires you to take some humility. So if you're unwilling to let go of that pride, go ahead and just turn off this video, walk yourself to the pantry, open up the fridge, pull out a bag of chips, plop on the couch, and start munching away like you usually do at the end of the day. If you're ready to take ownership and honor the body that God loaned you, then keep watching. You stayed. Good. That means you're not a completely easily offended soy boy, and you're not the type of person who's going to continue making excuse after excuse and blaming your circumstances. You're ready to take action and ownership and become the man that you know God has called you to be. So let's move on. At this point in your life, you probably figured out that a few days of diet success, sticking to it for a day or a week or a little bit longer than that sometimes, still doesn't indicate that you're going to stick to it long term. So what is a predictor of permanent fat loss? What's the secret to finally being consistent and keeping the weight off for good? The answer is healthy default actions. Default actions are what Paul talks about in Romans 7:15. In Romans 7:15, Paul says, I do not understand what I do. For what I want to do, I do not do. But what I hate, I do. These are your unhealthy default actions, like overeating and skipping workouts and hitting snooze and binge eating and mindlessly snacking. The things that you do either totally mindlessly, or when you're tired, or when you're bored, or when you're stressed, or when you're busy, or when you're traveling, or when you're overwhelmed, or when circumstances are changing, or when you're just feeling downright lazy. You hate that you do these things because you can assess that these behaviors are what have created a reality where you're not the healthiest you can be, where you're not the best example for the people who look to you as a leader. You know these things are hurting you, but you do them anyway. So step one to changing these default actions is to stop being prideful and stop justifying your unhealthy default actions, and humble yourself and ask God truly, how would my ability to serve you and build your kingdom and honor you improve if I were 10 to 30 pounds lighter, if I lost 10 to 30 pounds of fat and built muscle? And I know God has already blessed you in so many ways with your business and with your family, but how many blessings are you missing out on by never being able to lose the fat and keep it off for good? How much better would you be able to honor God and lead his people if you also honored the body he loaned you, if you had more energy, if you had more internal confidence, if the first impression that you gave people was, wow, this man is disciplined and consistent, instead of this guy has no self-control and doesn't respect himself. If this sounds good to you, then I'm glad we're talking, because over 502 men have trusted us to help them do exactly this. And our default actions framework is going to help you do the same. So you already know me, I'm Gabe Pluguez. I'm the founder of this company. And what I'm going to do is help you have the mindset shift to put your default actions on autopilot. And this handsome fella popping up right here is Joey, my best friend and business partner. And he's going to help you build consistency so that these default actions stick for life. Now, this is obviously our business, but this is also our God-given mission in life. We believe that if more Christian entrepreneurs also had strong and healthy bodies, then more people would look at you as a leader and conclude that whatever is within you is worth following. And we know that if more people follow you, more people will follow Christ. We've both seen this play out on an intimate level with our fathers, had the outside unique perspective. We've seen the negative self-talk. We've seen the self-sabotage. We've seen what leads to the inconsistency. That's why every single thing that we teach in the default actions framework comes from the Bible, the ultimate authority, and it's battle tested in our own real lives. This is the exact psychological process that Joey and myself use to have bulletproof default actions that keep us under 15% body fat with lean muscle. And most importantly, it's been battle tested in the real human lives of the 502 men that we've helped do this before. So now I'm going to show you the default actions framework. Are you ready? Here it is. The first thing that we do in the default actions framework is give guys access to the default action installation system. This was a game changer for Drew, who lost 119 pounds while he was traveling on vacations and working through the process of selling his family business. It's a video module course that teaches you the biblical process to changing your default actions. This is what allows you to have the mindset shift and finally become consistent. Then we create a custom default Kings training protocol for you in an easy lean eating system. This is what made it possible for Gavin to lose 30 pounds in 12 weeks while he was running multiple businesses and parenting 5 kids. This is the game plan and structure that's going to lead to you being able to look in the mirror and see your body getting leaner, healthier, and stronger day after day. And it'll teach you how to do this sustainably and enjoyably so you're not giving up your favorite foods and falling off the wagon. Next, we make sure your default actions and lean body stick using our lean body masterclass. This made it possible for Alex Guerrera, who's in the crypto space, to lose over 50 pounds, compete in friggin' Brazilian jiu-jitsu tournaments, and he did this all while traveling through 6 different countries for work last year. This teaches you how to coach yourself so the physical results last forever. Now, on top of that, we invite you into our Default Kings Inner Circle, which is the private networking group of all the men who are going through the program. And this right here is where iron sharpens iron. This has been pivotal for Cole, who lost 31 pounds working from home as a remote closer. You're also going to get access to our Default Kings group coaching calls and Default Kings private channels. This is where you're going to learn how to get lean and healthy by changing your default actions. And these were huge for Charles, who's 42 and lost 26 pounds. Finally, we're going to be coaching you one-on-one. So you get private, personalized accountability from myself, Joey, and your one-on-one client success specialist. We're in there answering your questions and keeping you accountable and checking in, making sure that things are going smoothly. This accountability was huge for Jonathan, who lost 45 pounds. And to top all that off, you get unlimited check-in calls with your client success specialist. These are like if you were back in school and you were in a class taking a test. Imagine if you can just raise your hand and ask the professor for the answer to a question that you got stuck on. It would be impossible to fail unless you literally decided, I want to fail, I don't want to raise my hand. That's what these unlimited strategy calls are like. And they were huge for Eric, who lost 14 pounds. Now, the entire goal of this program is to change your default action so that you can stay consistent forever. And when you finish the program, we have a guarantee. We guarantee that you'll lose 10 to 30 pounds of fat within 12 weeks. And if it doesn't work, we refund you in full. And on top of that, we have a weight loss warranty, which means if you gain a single pound back after the program, we refund you in full. And I say that with confidence because no one has ever asked us for that refund. How fair does that sound? So should you book a free fat loss assessment? I don't know. Ask these guys.
The biggest thing for me when I came through Default Kings was the understanding of, okay, it's kind of like delegating this thing that you would ordinarily have to put a lot of mental energy and effort into the hands of people that know exactly how to do it. It's the same as every other facet in business. Right. If I can take the thinking out of this, and this is exactly what I said to you at the start. I was like, I don't know how to think about anything. Literally don't make me think. Just tell me exactly what to do and I'll do it. And you were like, okay, we'll do it. And then that's exactly what happened, right? Like I didn't have to think about anything and I just did exactly what I was told. Mm-hmm. And because of that, the mental change happened, which meant that it wasn't this, arduous trek up a mental mountain to change small things. It was as easy as, hey, maybe we can cut down on this, or maybe we can cut down on that, or maybe we can do this instead, or maybe we can add this in. And it was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I can do that. And then it's done, versus me having to sit and go, okay, well, yeah, I could do this, but then that comes with this downside, or blah, 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 blah. It just removes that mental roadblock of actually doing the thing. and turns it into, okay, well, do you want to do this or this? Oh, I'd rather do that. Okay, then go do that.
Yeah.
So you just simplify the logic in your brain, and it just makes it so much easier.
I mean, I would recommend y'all literally 100 times out of 100. There wouldn't be a situation, I don't think, that I could not. I think that, I mean, if you're watching this and you've been anything like me, where you've been back and forth and going through cycles of not figuring out what you want to do or how to do it with your physical health, and getting yourself to a consistent standpoint in the gym, and even more so in the right headspace, and getting that confidence instilled, I mean, y'all are the people to do it, to work with, and there's no doubt in my mind that you guys can do it. So I would say join immediately, join yesterday.
Now, here's the thing. We've seen that speed of implementation is a really good predictor of future results. So if Default Kings guys get instant access to their default action installation system, before they even hop off their fat loss assessments, so that you can begin changing your default actions literally tonight. And although our guarantee is that you'll lose 10 to 30 pounds of fat within 12 weeks while you build lean muscle, there's no limit to your transformation. So keep in mind that the guys who transform the fastest are the action takers. They understand that the only thing between them and their goals is the decision to take the next step. They don't use life or unexpected situations or fear or lack of certainty become an excuse that holds them back. So there is an alternative to booking this free fat loss assessment. You can just stay on the yo-yo cycle forever, or just throw in the towel and blow up to 350 plus pounds. But do you really want the disappointment of falling off the wagon again and again? Do you really want to feel the shame of having to tell everybody that you had an opportunity that you didn't take? Do you really want to wake up every single day knowing that you're setting an unhealthy example for your family, and that you're doing a disservice to the people you're called to lead? I know you don't. You're a good man with good values, and you want to honor the body God loaned you, but you just find yourself stuck in this yo-yo cycle. You find yourself defaulting to these unhealthy habits. You find yourself losing that battle in your mind when you know you shouldn't be doing something, but you do it anyway. But now you know there's a solution to that problem. So the next step is super easy. Scroll down and book a free fat loss assessment with us. You'll have the opportunity to chat with a permanent fat loss expert about exactly how to change your unhealthy default actions, so that you can lose those 10 to 30 pounds in the next 12 weeks and sustain and improve upon those results forever. Are you ready? Click that button and let's book a time to chat. Now, I'm sure you've realized that Default Kings is not the dollar store option. We're a premium level service because we guarantee permanent results. But think about the cost of not investing into your health. How much does it cost you when clients take you less seriously when they see that you're overweight and lack discipline? How much does it cost you when you show up work feeling groggy and defeated? And how much would it be worth to you to finally feel like you can take off your shirt in front of your wife confidently? How much would it be worth to you if you can perform mentally better than you ever have? How much is it worth to you to set a healthy example for your family and become the leader that they deserve? The call is totally free, and in this conversation, we're going to make it totally clear for how you can lose those 10 to 30 pounds and keep them off forever. Go ahead, scroll down and book your free fat loss assessment now. Now, if you're wondering if now is the right time because things are really picking up in your business and you're busy, or you just have travel planned for business or family vacation, or if life is just hectic and there's holidays coming up and circumstances changing, then I want to encourage you, because if now seems like a hard time to do this, you're actually going to get more out of it than the people who do this when things are easy. Number one, if you can go through a challenging season with accountability and support, it's going to infinitely increase your chances of success. And number two, if you can learn how to change your default actions now, when life is unpredictable and crazy, it's going to be way easier to sustain those healthy default actions when life is easy and predictable, when life is normal. So if now doesn't feel like the right time, it's actually an even better time for you. Now, if you feel like you literally don't actually have the time on your calendar to commit to this because you've got meetings and you've got clients and all these other responsibilities are pulling you left and right, then remember that we're business owners too. And we actually believe that getting lean and healthy is supposed to enhance how you show up for your family and is supposed to improve your ability to build your business. So the workouts will actually be designed to fit around your current schedule, and they'll be built for efficiency, which means maximizing the results that you get for minimal time investment. Most of our guys are working out about 3 times a week, and you can even do this from home or at the office. No matter what equipment you have access to, we'll design a custom program that fits your exact situation so you can make progress no matter what. And if you've been thinking about going all in on getting healthy, but you're not really sure if your wife is going to support your efforts because after all, you've kind of shown her years of unhealthy habits, then I want to remind you about the type of woman that you married. If you gel with us in any way, and you share our values, I'm willing to bet that you married an angel. And even if it doesn't always seem like it, remember that she's the type of woman who supports you and wants the best for you. So don't view this as an effort or an investment into yourself selfishly, but view it as an investment for her and for your marriage. Because we know that with our roles of providing for our wives, one of the best ways that we can provide for them is by giving them the husband that they deserve. If you really wish that you can finally change your default actions and lose the weight and keep it off for good, if you're really in agreement with the idea of Gabe, you know what, you're right, I need to honor the body God loaned me, but you just feel like you're too far gone, but you feel like you've failed too many times, but you feel like there's no hope for you, then I want to remind you that with God's redeeming love, you are never too far gone. Anything is possible. And the entire system that we're going to use is built on biblical principles. And the Bible tells us that faith as small as a mustard seed can move mountains. And that's not Jesus being metaphorical. He's being literal. When we have the faith, supernatural things are possible. I've seen it in the life of my own father. I've seen it in the life of Joey's dad. And I've seen it in the lives of the 502 men that have gone through this program before. You are never too far gone, and we are here to support you. This is our life. This is our mission. We are personally invested in your success. Don't take it from me. Just ask these guys.
Man, it's been a complete transformation. Before Default Kings, I was a pretty in shape person. Like I was powerlifting, and I was very strong. I was in the gym all the time, active. I played sports, but I just couldn't look the way I wanted to. I was just holding on to more body fat than I wanted to be holding on to. I didn't feel comfortable in my skin. Like I didn't like taking my shirt off. I didn't like going outside without my shirt off, like picking out my clothes. I was a lot more careful because I was like, oh man, does this look good? But now I feel great. Like I feel like I look the best that I've ever looked in my whole life. So it's really been a 180 for me since December.
It's completely changed my life. Before I joined the program, I was on high cholesterol medicine. Kids could be blunt. My own daughter was telling my belly was big.
It's common, bro. It's common. It happens.
Yeah. And I just, I felt like my lifestyle in general wasn't what I wanted it to be. A lot of late nights gaming, a lot of late mornings, not being able to wake up and get to stuff that I wanted to do. So the focus not only has helped me out with, getting in shape, which I still think I have a long road to go, but it's changed my life in general, how I look at it, how I process things, and how I'm trying to run things, from within. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so if you're ready to lose 10 to 30 pounds in the next 12 weeks and you want to learn how to change your default actions, then book your free fat loss assessment today.